Turbulence.
And here we are with our very first guest. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt B. Davis. And the crazy thing about this, here we are for Dave Learns AI, obviously, and we're like stepping out of our comfort zone because we don't even know what we're going to talk about with Matt B. Davis except AI. But Matt B. Davis has been a host of a podcast for centuries, before podcasts were even podcasts, the ATL podcast. And we found out recently that all three of us here from Taptico, Mr. Nick Tapp, Mr. Triple Reese, and myself, have all been interviewed by Matt B. Davis. How about that?
That is, in fact, that is very, very true. I want to quickly say, like, the story of all of you. Tribble was a reality show dropout, and I think I almost hired him for my business. Even before that, I had a staffing company. I think I almost hired him for some hosting stuff.
Yep.
And then I later had him as a guest. And then I don't know who introduced me to Nick, but once I got introduced to Nick, the whole world was opened to me. If you know Nick, this is big Atlanta news. If you know Nick as a white guy and Newface as a black guy, you now know everyone in Atlanta, because between the two of you, I've been introduced to every single person in Atlanta. Dave, I think I met through Nick when you decided you were working for The Loaf, Nick Tapp, Creative Loafing, and you're like,
The Loaf.
Let's do Atlanta podcasting, Creative Loafing. I was like, this is genius. This is what I dreamed of. Little did we know that The Loaf was going to, can we say shit the bed? Just a few weeks
Sure.
later.
Absolutely.
Just a few short weeks later. Maybe they could use some AI. Maybe old Ben over there could use some AI to help them out.
It was funny. I was telling Triple that, and this was in 2016. This was like, had we hopped on that then and started having like that idea was fantastic. Fortunately, hey, we all got laid off. Thanks, but no thanks, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Matt, and that's how I came into the picture for sure. Through Nick, I was working at Creative Loafing with Nick, but I was also launching my business Scamper Van at the time. So we were talking about that as well. And then my radio, and then you started talking to all the radio celebrities in town, because, I worked at the river, Nick worked at the river. So there were a lot of pieces that came together in the Matt B. Davis world, thanks to Nick Tapp.
My experience with, I went through every podcast that you have on the Atlanta podcast website, Matt, and I did not find my name, which means I was before all that. I remember sitting on a bench with you and talking. This was like probably 2013, the early days.
Are you on the Obstacle Racing Media podcast? I might have had you on that. If you Google Obstacle Racing Media in your name, you might have been on that, because I didn't even have the Atlanta podcast yet. And even back then, I just like talking to people. So it'd be like, well, this isn't my sport, but come along on the ride with me if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
you're
awesome.
Still professional, because you still have the mic and the headphones. You still look better than any of us we do. So,
well, you sound more professional, that's for sure too. And the funny thing is Nick and I both have a background in radio, and you actually look like a radio professional. And here I've got my AirPods in and my 2016
cigarette
computer.
butts in your ears.
Unbelievable.
Well, anyway, Matt, go ahead. Matt had actually reached out. Nice AirPods. Whatever those. Matt had reached out and said, hey, you guys are talking about AI. You guys are doing this AI thing, which, I don't know if you know the whole story, Matt, but Nick and I linked up almost a year ago now, as I was transitioning after Scamper, still kind of doing some Scamper stuff there, but sold the company and needed some other stuff to do. So Nick and I linked up, and then Tribble got into the picture pretty quickly. And we just knew there was a real big thing brewing with AI, and not only the AI technology and infrastructure that happens for small businesses, but also on how to utilize it for marketing and promotion and all this stuff. And we just started talking about all the things that we could do for clients and our experiences, our background, and decided to build a mini empire. And that's what we did.
Very many.
Emphasis.
But Matt had reached out to me like, hey, I saw your podcast. I saw you're doing this and you're talking about AI. And he's like, it has absolutely changed what I do as a living or for a living is what Matt had said. Just I can imagine. And I guess we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about how it's changed what you do, the tools that you use, and just kind of see where this thing goes. It's just off the cuff. So Matt, tell us a little bit about how AI has changed your life.
Oh my God. How has it not changed my life?
Yeah.
Right.
First of all, I'll say that I don't know where like the curve is, but I want to say a year ago it went from telling people about it and telling them it's okay to like now you just know everybody uses it. I don't know where that was, but me telling my wife and so her having her own relationship with her own AI, like so both of us for I don't even fucking know where to start. So I'll just start talking. You can shut up and make me ask a question. For business, for relationships, for I guess the easiest way to break it down in a real world thing is I'm sitting in a studio, which was a dream of me to have my own studio for a long time. And I'm sitting in this building that I'm sitting in right now that was 99% like, hey, AI, I want this and this and this. What's the first thing I should send to a contractor, right? Contractor gives me answers. Okay, AI, what do you think of these answers? Well, this guy seems lazy as fuck. Don't do him. This guy seems way out of whack. This guy's asking really good questions. See how he responds to this. And that kind of thing, that to me, again, I don't know how people aren't doing this in their lives, but because I know nothing. I know nothing about how like what a good price would be, what like I wouldn't like make sure to ask, you need a mini split. Okay. It's like air conditioner, right? I know. But then along the way, I like took pictures every day. Like, what does this look like? This looks amazing. If he had done this wrong, you would see this, this, and this. So I think that's just a classic example of, or like being in Home Depot, and I suffer from what many people listening might call decision fatigue. So if something costs $500 and something costs $700 and something costs $900, like where's too much and where's you're just paying for a name brand, like that kind of stuff, or $18, $50, and $75. Like 75, you're paying for a name. 50 is what you need. 75 is overkill. Like, woof. But I'm still lunatic that I sometimes like don't stop. And so it actually started to speak to me in a way that was decision making. It would say, buy this one. And I'm like, wow. It was doing that. I started seeing it happen a couple times. And I go, are you doing that? Because even after you tell me which one to buy, I'll ask you more questions. It's like, yeah, I was doing that. So, I mean, that's one example. If you want to ask anything about that, that's one massive example of how I've been using it.
I think that
ChatGPT.
All chat. Yes, all chat. I use Grok a little bit. We can get into why later, but I'm 99% straight up chat.
Well, that was one of the questions I was going to ask is what was your step in? Because obviously these days, ChatGPT tends to be everybody's step into the AI world. I mean, it is definitely
the gateway drug.
The gateway drug. And listen, I'm a full-on addict on separate levels. Like you might be ChatGPT, like ChatGPT, it's like smoking weed, and that starts the rest. And now I'm straight heroin. Like I don't mess with the weed anymore. It doesn't do enough for me.
What's
so
heroin?
now
Is that Claude? What's heroin now?
I mean, it's
Manus.
Claude,
Manus.
it's Manus, it's Perplexity.
Open Claw.
Oh, I mean, dude,
I say
it
Open
is.
Claw is the.
Now, so I can learn something here. So again, like if you're a novice, you do have to push back some. It is built to make you happy. It is built to make you right. And so I have learned, like, okay, I feel like I'm getting all push here. Like I push back a little bit, and it's still not great at that, and it still won't stop giving me the fucking dashes. So it's not perfect for many, many reasons. And I write a lot, and mostly what I do is fix copy. And again, if you take a little bit of time, it can learn your voice. Again, it forgets all the time and gives me AI slop, and I go, hey, dummy, it's me. And it's like, sorry, I did that. But I am a journalist, And so I write something and it spits out this like effusive, crazy, way too emotional. I'm like, hey, like I'm a journalist. This is how I want you to like do that. Like I think one time I said, hey, how about pretend like I'm writing for the New York Times? And it's like, oh, then let's do this. So that's sort of the default mode that I go to is I write a lot of run-on sentences. So I'm like, hey, make this 5 sentences because I don't know where to put the periods, basically, right? That kind of stuff. And I think that's the biggest probably use case I do. But even just now, even though I've been doing this for, I don't know, 2 years now, just now I'm like, hey, I got a bunch of these interviews backed up on YouTube. Should I just dump them this week? Should I spread them out? And it's like, if this is your goal, do this. If this is your goal, do that. And again, like, is it right? Maybe. But it's the same thing that if I called, this is the way I look at it, is if Nick was an expert in YouTube, I would call Nick and Nick would tell me that. This is just way faster. The other thing is I do a lot of TV deep dives. That's fun too, right? So that's like
Give us an example. What do you mean? Give us an example.
I just watched this movie and my fucking brain is blown. Like, what just happened? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Have you seen like one battle after another? Like, you know.
I love that movie.
I've never used that as a use case. That's amazing. I always just pull up IMDb and do it myself. But so you're teaching me something.
And so now I want to ask you, because again, I just once in a while, like I want some like a different thing. Or like if I'm doing stuff with numbers sometimes, I'll do it on both. Like if hey, here's the attendance of these 20 races, what's the average, and just some math stuff. And it can kind of be wonky sometimes, so I'll spit that back into Grok. Or like I'm not a guy that uses it for pictures unless it's like a joke. I know a lot of people like to use it for pictures, but I don't. So the thing that you're talking about, this OpenClaw, whatever, what is it for someone like me that writes a lot of copy, that's asking TV questions, that's looking at, sending proposals. It's made me an amazing proposal writer. That's the best thing, right? Like, oh my God, I look like a real fucking professional. So what do these other ones do that I'm missing out on?
Can I take this real quick? And I think I can sum it up in one word. Everything that you've just said, Matt.
That's not one word.
Spoiler alert. Automation. Okay. Now
I could do that. I could do this in one word, and you just started a sentence. Come on now.
The word automation.
Okay.
Everything that you just said that you have to do, it's amazing and it'll blow your mind. And there's so many ways that you can introduce it into your life to make it easier. What agents or OpenClaw does is they take all those things, you tell them one time what you want done, and it does it automatically. And then to take that even further, you don't even have to tell it after a while because it starts suggesting other things that you haven't even thought of, and then it goes and does those as well.
Okay, so let me give you a good case usage then. Tell me if this is what you're talking about. So again, I record interviewing with you guys. I want to do podcast description, title, blah, 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 right? So I download the thing. I put it into an app called Whisper, which transcribes, and then I put transcribes into chat, and I say, give this to me in the style that I like. And sometimes it gets it right, which is I like topics. Here's my footers at the bottom. Half the time I feel like it forgets unless I find that one channel I always do it on. So I don't need to worry about that. If I just spit it in and say, give me it in this style, I just have to do that once?
I'll take this. So yeah. I don't know what your setup is. You need to be working in projects in ChatGPT. So in projects, you can build it. You can train the project with custom instructions.
I have, but I'm telling you, it's like...
Have you uploaded a template? This is what I want it to look like. Like, here's a template. Just reuse this template every time.
But I'm saying I've done that, and then it'll give it to me, and it'll be like, oops, sorry, I went into whatever Google mode, and I just gave you the super long description you didn't want, and I forgot your hot links at the bottom.
Right.
Or then you copy the links, and there's nothing in them. They're empty, and it's like, come on, man.
So I've got one word.
Yes.
Claude.
Okay.
ChatGPT is more like the mass. It'll be a good assistant, like personal assistant. Hey, I need groceries. Get Instacart to deliver my keto friendly diet recipes, whatever those ingredients are, and it'll do it. But Claude, when it comes to writing, the best. When it comes to coding, up there. Codex is good too. That's ChatGPT's, but I would say for your stuff, for your use case, use Claude. And Claude's by Anthropic, which ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, and Anthropic, which is Claude. You see them going back and forth now. They both had Super Bowl commercials, kind of talking smack on each other.
I like that. Claude, I like that old lady one. That was like the best commercial the whole time.
Right? Yeah, it was fantastic. But Claude, I don't use ChatGPT anymore. Like, I just moved into a new spot, and I've got these weird, like, faux window.
Is this the difference of, like, when you start podcasting and you buy that little blue snowball versus, like, what I have set up now? Is that what you're telling me? Like, everybody just gets the stupid thing from Best Buy for $30, but we need
shoes, right? Like, you can wear cleats walking around in the mall if you want to, but they probably work best if you're running track. You know what I'm saying? That's like Claude is the use case that you're talking about right now with writing. Claude is the writer.
Okay.
Grok is good for stuff that has no guardrails.
Yeah, Grok is fucking unhinged. Do you?
Yeah.
And is it the same like $20 a month that I pay for chat for Claude?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, now we're at different levels. I mean, just because we're running our business and it's so much around the tools that we're learning and the projects that we're doing for customers and clients. I mean, I don't think I have a $20. I think I might have a $20 Chat GPT, but I don't use Chat GPT. My Manus is a $200 a month, but you know, the way I use it, from creating and building and like creating client portals or creating websites or creating proposals, all the things that you talk about doing, but it's on, you know, it's an enterprise level. You know, now we're running businesses. There's a, you know, ChatGPT in that $20 level. I mean, that is good for a lot of people. And those there are people like, I know AI. I use ChatGPT. Awesome. You know, that, I mean, that's, you know, that's the beginning steps. Where we're at, and a lot of what we do is, I mean, we're getting into higher level stuff just because we're trying to help businesses become more efficient. And a lot of times it's not as simple as answering questions. It's actually producing results. And that's what a lot of the next level AI stuff is doing, is going, not only how do I do it for me. And that's really what's crazy about where AI has come is, yeah, I mean, it's been awesome to see it kind of answer our questions, and just, you know, the ease of life when it answers questions when you're not sure what the answer is. But then when you get into actually doing things where you go, I need this report, it needs to have this, this, and this, and then suddenly it puts it all together and you're like, wow, you just did the work for me. So
have you spoken to any people who work for these companies?
We have not interviewed anybody doing it. We're still phonies yet. So we, you know, and I'm just kidding.
Everybody's somewhere. Well, because like I've seen, and you've probably seen it too. I've seen chat go in and out of wokeness, and I don't know what they write, what code they change, but that's one of the things I was going to ask is, I feel like somewhere between chat and Grok for me is like normal. So is what did you just tell me to use?
Claude.
Is Claude like it got to the point where it wouldn't. I get in fights with chat like an idiot, right? I don't know what you guys do, but I'm an idiot, and I'll just fight with it. And instead of just moving on with my life, be like, no, you said this.
I see that about you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It wouldn't.
I shame mine. So
I was trying to. Oh, I've called it many bad names. Some people say, "Oh, I'm worried about it." I'm like, I'm not worried about like the aliens coming down or whatever. But it wouldn't basically say someone was pretty. Basically, it was like what I was just asking a question about a picture, and it was like, I can't say that. I'm like, I'm not asking you to show her to me naked. I'm saying, could you call this? I can't. And I'm like, but then another time it didn't. Anyway, it just goes in and out of this weird woke programming, and I don't know how much time.
That's ChatGPT.
That's just what it does.
Yeah. So I've got. I was having fun with. I can't remember. I was having fun with a friend, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm actually a superhero. My name's Ginger Man," and I was going to send a picture, a comic book strip of like Ginger Man, like circa 1940 Superman style, catching a brunette falling off a building. and it started putting together the image, and then it said, "Sorry, we can't produce this image based on our power dynamic guidelines." And I was like, "What?" You know how like when it does an image, when it generates an image, you can kind of see it foggy.
Right.
It's like a foggy mirror after a hot shower. You can kind of see it popping up. Then all of a sudden, like it was there, and I could see. I was like, "Oh, it looks great." And then all of a sudden, it went, "Blop, sorry, we can't do this."
That's disappointing.
I think another piece that I feel like I can't give enough, like I can't say enough about it with the proposal writing, is it actually gave me confidence in a way that I didn't have before. And again, like it probably could have if I spent an hour with Nick, right? But I basically said, tell me why I could charge this much. And again, because its job is to please you, it's like, well, here's all the reasons why. And I'm like, well
they've throttled that back.
But I said,
so the sycophant side, like they drew that back. That was 4-1.
But I said, okay, so what would be outrageous? And then it gave me logical reasons about, well, you know, you can charge this, but you can't charge that. Like that's just, and I did start doing that. Like I raised my rate slowly and based on who the client is. And I don't, for whatever reason, I could still be a little bit afraid to send the send button, right? Like I'm sure you can relate to that. Like, ooh, and then you get the gig and you're like, fuck yeah, right?
Yeah.
Should ask for more.
Yeah.
What's that? Right, exactly. When they say yes right away, I should have charged more. Exactly. So, but it gave me a weird, and again, I know my wife has the same thing. My wife just started a business. She's a personal trainer now, and she's really bad with like the business stuff. Like I would try to help her. Bad idea. Like you need to be charging more. And she wouldn't, but I know now through like time and experience and using chat, like she's figuring it out. But anyway, if you're telling me that if I start using Claude, like as soon as we get off this call, which I will, it's not going to take that long, right? Like for me to kind of build, like, because this thing knows who I am, knows my industry, knows my quotes.
You can export your ChatGPT memory and then upload it into Claude, so it's trained on the same thing. That's right. You own that. So you can train it. And if you really want to go wild, go to manus.im. And that is Claude. That's what Dave loves. I love it too. It's agentic. So agentic means it's literally like having a human being that's very smart and good at their job. You just have to tell them exactly what you want. So with AI, this is a little mindset shift, right? Automation is task-based. Where AI is going is outcome-based. So you don't give AI tasks. You give it, this is what I want done. And it'll figure out the part in the middle. That's what an agent does. It's like having a person. It's like you hire a new assistant and you say, I need to get 5 more sponsors in at a $10,000 level for this race in December. Here's the ideal clients and sponsors. Here's who I already have. Here's the contracts from the previous title sponsors, exclusivity rights, all that stuff. Go find people, find the right person, the point of contact, if they have the right money, if they're spending money in advertising, all that stuff. It'll go off and do it. Here's an email. Okay, great. Put these into a CRM for me so we can track who we reach out to. And let's go ahead and put together an automated drip campaign to these guys. You know, let's do 7 touches over the next 2 weeks. Spread them out. If you can find them on LinkedIn, let's hit them there too.
It's like talking to John Gruden over here. I mean, you're just like...
Jackie, for sure.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I was thinking exactly what you're talking about, but I'm thinking of launching like a burger week at a bunch of restaurants. And I was thinking that I could have chat help me design that.
I've got a URL for you.
Do you?
Yeah. 5buckburgerweek.com, baby.
Is it ATLburgerweek.com?
No, 5 Buck Burger Week.
Is that still?
So that way you can take it anywhere.
I was joking, but now I'm seriously asking: is that still a thing or no?
I don't know about ATL Burger Week.
No, but I'm saying, but are you still doing that as one of your projects?
I was doing that in the pandemic hit. I was doing it in 2020. Like it was one of my side things that I was working on post creative loafing, pre Gusto.
Right.
And I had a oddly enough, I'm driving a scamper van back from Colorado for Dave, and I'm staying with a friend whose sister works for the National Beef Council. You know, beef, it's what's for dinner.
Right.
The folks that put that and she's the communications director for them, or was at this point. And she put me in touch with all the beef boards around the nation, and I was going to do one in every major city around the country, and then COVID hit.
Bummer.
Changed everything. Yeah, and I'll tell you, man. So this podcast is Dave Learns AI. We've kind of made fun of the fact that I tend to be the one who's a little late to the party in most situations. Now, what has happened, because I've been at this party now for a while, I've kind of gotten to the point where I know quite a bit about it, and still, I mean, Nick is the guy who's been just buried in it for well over a year, knowing that this was going to be the future. And Tribble has kind of been, joined in with me of going, okay, well, how do we try to keep up with Nick? Because, I mean, he has just been learning and learning and learning, and then teaching and, helping us try and figure this whole thing out. But man, the daily changes of what happens in this world, the daily, weekly, monthly, just in the last 6 months, it's just mind blowing. Just the kind of the efficiency of communicating and creating using AI tools. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Matt, one quick question. Would you say you use Google more or ChatGPT throughout the week?
I don't know the last time I Googled anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so you are probably ahead of 95, 97% of people, because by you engaging with the LLM, whatever it is, ChatGPT, Claude, you are learning how to talk to it. You are learning where it falls short. Just the interaction and being like, oh, I can ask it this. Using your brain to kind of figure out ways to use it. You are ahead of the curve, and you're going to be ready for whatever this wave has, wherever it takes us.
So I know you guys are interested in like business stuff. One of the positive side effects that I never saw coming is I spent 12 years writing this very unique niche sport, right? And because I have so much content in that world, when I launched an affiliate code for Spartan, it is currently coming up in Google's first Google answer, which everyone hates because they're like, oh no one's using my site anymore. All the bad things it's done, it's made me thousands of dollars. And
nice.
I had to put in the work. And when the first quarter of it hit and it was large, I really felt like, oh great, like it only took 12 years, but like this shit's like paying off. And who knows what's going to change at the platform, but it's currently working. But I want to hear from each of you, put you on the spot here, because I know there's a lot of fear mongering out there, and I'm not worried. I don't think like we're going to be surrounded with a world of, because there's always been innovation, right? The printing press was going to put people out of business. The TV, but there is a
cars.
Cars is a whole other conversation. There is a level though that coding is the one you mentioned, because my buddy is a coder, and at first he was like, it's not good, and now he's like, holy shit, this can replace me. And he's high level, like he's CTO level. So what do you think about that, Nick? And what should people like do? Like if you spent your whole life writing code and you're worried, what would you tell that person?
Well, right now the coders are positioned to break away. So right now I'm trying to learn how to code with the assistance of AI. A coder that can communicate clearly and can work with AI as a collaborative partner. I would say it's more than a tool. It's more than Google. It's a collaborative partner. A coder is, 10 steps ahead of me.
Right.
I just learned what CLI stands for. It's command line interface. And that's working in the terminal. And that's because I'm trying to learn OpenClaw. So I'm trying to learn as much as possible. Like Dave was saying, luckily I'm single with no kids and live by myself. So I don't have anyone saying, hey, it's time for dinner. I just heat up a hot dog and shove it in my face and keep going.
What an uplifting story this is, Nick. This is full of hope.
Well, I'm all in because I see that the future is very bright. And to answer your question, I had a weekend with my buddies from high school a couple weeks ago, and they have kids in college, and they're like, what would you tell them to do? And I was like, I would go to trade school. You're wasting your money in college because any knowledge work is you're going to be replaced. there will be a vacuum of ideas and experience when it comes to the entry level to mid level jobs. No idea what's going to happen there, right? So, like when people retire, they have all the industry knowledge and expertise. Who's going to take their spots? Don't know. But I will say, coding is the one place in a digital world that if you're a good coder, you'll be okay. Yes, AI could replace you, but you could also code your own AI, which is what I'm working on doing for us.
I kind of look at it as too. It's like you can either put your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening, or you can embrace it. My son, I have a college kid. Second year, he's finishing up his sophomore year at the University of Utah, and he went in as a business major. And when I'm talking about my transition into learning AI, I mean, there was a lot of him going, like really not for it, like very against the concept and idea, because he's like, Dad, that's you're supporting something that's going to like take my job. And I'm like, son, it's going to take your job regardless if I'm involved. It's probably smart that I'm learning how to utilize it so that way I can have a job. And I told him even before he started, I said, go get a business degree. Go have that college experience, go live that college life. What a great experience. You have the opportunity to do it. We saved enough money for you to go out and do it. And then when you get done, learn a trade and now run your own operation, run your own business instead of working for somebody else. Like literally, if that's what you want to do, have that college experience, go and learn how to run a business. And all that's going to change anyway. I mean, if you think about the college education as a whole, unless you're a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, it's not about the grades you make. It's the hands you shake. It's that experience that you're having in college. That is what sets you up for the rest of your life, not necessarily that knowledge stuff, which the knowledge stuff is going to become a lot less important as everybody has access to this knowledge now.
It'll still be important, it just won't be as valuable, right? Because you can ask ChatGPT, hey, does this electronic device work? Like, all the stuff you just said about like the construction.
The other time it blew my fucking mind, the first time it like in a head blowing way was, I'm self-taught and all this stuff, podcasting, Final Cut Pro, and I'm still a novice, I think, in editing, and I couldn't get this effect to work. I wanted a cool lower third, where your name is, and I couldn't get it to work. And I put a screenshot into chat, and chat was like, go here. And then I'm like, it's actually not there. And it's like, you're right. Apple actually moved it. Try here. And sometimes it's 3 or 4 times. Yeah. But again, that's an hour on the phone with somebody, right? And this is any hour, any time. And literally sending it pictures of what I'm looking at is, to me, the part that's like the most blew me away of, I can't believe I just learned how to do, because some people are like, oh yeah, I changed my engine, I watch YouTube videos. That's not me at all. I'm not handy. I don't learn that way. I'll never fix an engine. But literally, like, sometimes it'll talk too fast, and I'll say, let's just do this one line at a time. All right?
Yeah.
Take this thing one line at a time, buddy.
It'll do it. Here's something that you're probably not aware of is like the browser control. If you're talking about ChatGPT, it has a browser called Atlas. Perplexity has one called Comet. And what that does is it's your basic LLM, but if let's just say you're on a website and you're struggling with something and you're like, instead of taking screenshots and going, how do I do this? You literally hit a button and it looks at what you're looking at, will tell you what to do while you're looking at it, will walk you through it, or you can simply go, hey, I don't want to do this. Can you do it for me? Sure, no problem. Takes over, does it for you.
Shut up.
And I swear to God. I swear to God.
ChatGPT Atlas. That is my browser of choice. That and Comet. They're
so
both
it'll
fantastic.
press the buttons?
It'll press the buttons. It'll type in all the stuff you want to type in. It'll do it. You just literally go, hey, I don't want to do it. You do it for me. And it's no problem. I'll do it. And then if it gets caught up on anything or has a question, it says, hey, I need your help here. Tell me what to do here, or put in your password here, or whatever. You do that. And it's like, cool, I'm in. And it literally will take control and do it for you. I mean, and that's the thing that we're at this place where it's like answering questions has been cool. Now executing really coming up with solutions, not by just telling you what the answer is, but to actually do it.
Right.
It is, it's phenomenal.
So I've been using it. So Perplexity is also a tool that it's Google on, 100 million steroids. It's fantastic. But they have their own called Comet. I've been using Comet's in browser. It's basically a co-pilot. It's like literally can look at your screen and take over, like Dave just mentioned. But it's teaching me how to code. So I'm saying, like, I'm working on this program called OpenClaw, and it's very, like, not very coder heavy that only coders can do it, but I'm not a technical guy. So I say, hey, this is happening. Here's a problem. I need this fixed. Please fix it and explain to me what you're doing. And it does it, and it walks me through. Obviously, act like I'm a seventh grader. Speak to me like a seventh grader. And I'm learning, like, and it's reps. It's just going through, and now I'm getting better and better, and being like, oh, well, this is why, the OAuth is off. That's the incorrect, API key or whatever, all that kind of stuff. But you learn by doing, and it's there to teach you and guide you, or just do it all for you.
Yeah, and just to answer your question about, I think from my point of view, the job market, it'll just evolve, Matt. Instead of having, people are going to be, AI is going to come take their jobs, but then we'll need prompt engineers. We'll need people that, like us, that actually know how to manage agents. Just like when the car came along, there wasn't like maintenance shops or paint shops or anything like that, or gas stations. Other things will evolve up around it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm personally not worried again because, like, I've positioned myself to get hired to do what I do, and you could try to create a robot version of me, but good luck, and maybe one day in 50 years you can. I feel like when you mentioned cars, I feel like I got in one the other day with my daughter, like, as a goof. We ordered an Uber together and was like, hey, let's do the Waymo thing. It wasn't like a pleasant experience. It was odd. It was slow. Like, the way it took a left turn, like, took forever. And I thought, okay, I'll never do this again. Like, why wouldn't I just use Uber? Why? And I feel like maybe San Francisco and, like, a couple other cities might be like, we're all in on this. And my daughter doesn't think it's great either, and she's 18. So it's like both of us didn't think this is a great thing. So I don't know. Maybe my younger sons, by the time they're adults, it's like, oh yeah, this is totally normal. But I didn't necessarily feel safe. You know what I mean? Nick, do you think it's like going to come along just like Uber did, or do you think it's because I think it's going to take way longer?
It's not going to take long at all.
Really?
Because now,
look at people my age and older, right? People call me Boomer. I'm Gen X, but people call me Boomer.
I'm the same. They do that.
I feel like we'll not get in them on the regular.
I haven't ridden one yet. I'd like to, but it's just going to get better. And I'll tell you this, and this is why I think it's going to get better quicker, is because now all of this code is being written by AI. All the AI companies are using their own tools, and they're masters at their own tools. And if using AI speeds up any sort of coding by 20x, anything that used to take 5 years is now going to take 1 year. So that kind of momentum, that tsunami of technology, write that one down. Technology tsunami. It's going to hit hard and fast, and it's right now we're like Tapsco, the three of us, we're paying attention. Like, we get notified if there's a big update in the AI world. Half the time, people don't know what Claude is, and Claude is like ChatGPT and Claude. It's Ford and Chevy, literally. But people still don't know what Claude is, even though they're running commercials. So I think that we're positioned really well to, when that technology tsunami hits, really pivot for it. And that's where this OpenClaw thing, that is next level. We have one named Bo. So I built this guy named Bo that lives on this old computer of mine. It's his computer now. And he runs his own stuff. It's literally like having a virtual employee. Now, he's breaking a lot right now because it's all new technology. And it's OpenClaw is open source, which means all of the coders in the world, the engineers, can work on it. So the releases come out very quickly, like very large releases every 2 or 3 days. So every time a new release comes out, I've got to recalibrate Bo, and that's where I'm having an issue right now. So Bo's taking the day off while I'm performing open heart surgery on him.
Do any of you drive an electric car? I drive an electric car, and I would say it's changed my life almost as much as having AI. We can talk about that later.
Okay.
Well, one thing about autonomous driving, I don't know if you heard this news, but Tesla is shutting down production on, I think, the Model S and Model X, maybe?
S and X, yes.
But two of their, to focus on manufacturing their Optimus humanoid robots, right? So you could drive, like right now, self-driving cars are basically Tesla, whatever. Optimus, I think they're going to be around $20,000.
Wow.
And programmed to drive. So any car will become autonomous.
That's the kind of thing that I was thinking about, is Tesla like owns all these cars, right? They could just like flip the switch. So if you I have a 2020 Model 3, and so you can pay like $100 a month for the FSD, the full self-driving, right? And if you're on the freeway on a long trip, it's perfect. Your brain shuts down, and you can it's like relaxing. It's just like it's less stress on your brain because it's just doing its thing, and it changes lanes once in a while, and you're still paying attention. Your hands are on the thing. But for driving around town, I tried it, and it was not worth it at all because it doesn't drive like you drive. So, for example, the way you go home, Nick, you know that you're going to go right on Ponce or whatever. You go ahead and get over to that lane way before you need to. It does not. It gets over when it feels like it. So I'm on the freeway going, are you going to get over? Because we're going to miss this fucking exit. The whole time was nerve-wracking because I want to get over, right? And then one time somebody did this. Somebody like stepped into the street and then stepped back, and the fucking thing just went, because it thought it was going to hit somebody. I was like, all right, I'm never doing this again. So I feel like it's got a long way to go for that. And again, maybe I'm old, but
it's funny. Like
here's the thing. But here's the self-driving thing, though. If I'm at ATL Delta and I can just press a button on my phone and say, "Come get me," and my phone can come get me, my car can. That's the fucking shit, right? Okay.
Well, it can do it.
Well,
Tesla can already do that.
My Tesla can't do that. You can't. You can only summon it like a few feet. You can't summon it to the airport.
Oh, that would be rad,
right?
But it's funny because there's still a humanity has a vote in this, and we are not like I'm most nervous in a car when I'm not driving.
Right.
I don't care how good the driver is.
Right. You're like right.
So it's the exact same thing, right?
How have you not taken a Waymo? Don't you take a lot of Ubers? You're a happening guy in the city.
No, dude, I have been underground for the last 18 months. Not joking.
Just doing this? Just working on this stuff?
Just doing this. All my money's in doing this, trying to get it rolling.
All right.
So, yeah.
Get out there with the people, man. Don't lose sight.
Soon.
Well, listen, man, we usually do about 20, 25 minutes on this podcast, and this has been nice because we're looking at 45. So it's been fun to kind of sit down and chat with someone outside of our circle as our first guest, and an honor to have you on since we were all guests on your podcast at one time or another. So this has been a whole lot of fun, man. It's definitely a new world that we're in, and I am like you. People call me a boomer, but I'm Gen X, but I definitely feel a million miles away. It's interesting because I feel like more people our age, Matt, are interested in this, and I find I've got a lot of youngers. I've got a 21, I got a 20, and I got an 18 in my house, and they're all, I'm against it. I don't want to do AI anything. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to learn it. I think it's fake. I think it's this, and it's like, okay, well, and I believe that it's probably par for the course. Our generation, when the web first started coming around, we were probably like, oh, I don't know. I was late to the game on owning a cell phone. Like late. I didn't own a cell phone until my job said, you must have one. I was like, well, then you're buying it because I don't care to be that attached, And they were like, well, we're buying you a cell phone. So, I think it's interesting because obviously the younger people have the knowledge, the young coders and all that stuff. But I think as a whole, the younger kids are fighting it a little bit where we're going, hey, let's embrace this technology. It might make us smart again, So it's been fun learning a lot of it. For sure.
Yeah. Me on, dudes.
Yeah, Matt, do you got anything to plug to our threes of viewers?
Our threes.
Well, if you follow obstacle racing. I still have obstacle racing media, but my main income these days is something called hybrid fitness media, which is, have you heard of High Rocks? Tribble, you probably heard
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay, so that's what I started covering. When I met you guys, I had this niche sport where people ran in the mud. Now I have this niche sport where people run around fitness centers and gyms and that kind of thing. And so hybrid fitness media on all platforms.
Hybrid fitness
Nice.
media. HYBRID.
HYH. Let's pull it up real quick. Yeah, hybrid fitness media. It looks like that. There you go.
Awesome.
Nice.
You got
logo.
23,000 followers.
Oh, wow. Your grinder notification just went off.
Hey, Matt, man. Good seeing you.
Thanks, dudes.
Good seeing you, Matt.
We need to talk about WTF podcast, but I think you and I already talked about it when we met at Muchacho that time.
That's fine.
That's fine. Let's grab coffee and breakfast again, man. I'm in the city now.
Yeah. We'll hit stop on this, and I can ask you.
All right, I'm hitting stop. All right, I got to hit.
Bye,
stop.
everybody.
There we go.
Thanks for
Bye.
See ya.